I want you to imagine something for a second. You receive the ball. A defender rushes toward you, but instead of panic, you feel calm. You already know what you're going to do. One touch, one movement, and suddenly the defender is gone. It doesn't feel like luck. It doesn't feel forced. It feels unfair. That's what elite dribbling feels like. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to reach that level, even if you think you're not naturally gifted, even if you train alone, and even if you've struggled with confidence on the ball. This isn't about flashy tricks. This is about control, deception, and decision-making, the kind that makes defenders look slow. By the end of this video, you'll understand why great dribblers look like they're cheating and how to train the same way they do. The biggest lie about dribbling. Most players think dribbling is about speed. They think faster feet equals better dribbling. That's the first mistake. The truth is, great dribblers are not fast with their feet, they are fast with their decisions. Watch the best players closely. They don't spam touches. They don't rush moves. They wait. They bait the defender into committing, and then they explode. Dribbling isn't about doing more. It's about doing less at the perfect moment. If you remember only one thing from this video, remember this. The defender always moves first. Your job is to make him believe.
Before you can beat players, the ball has to feel like an extension of your body, not something you chase, not something you fight, something that obeys you. Here's how I train that. I stop thinking about tricks. I stop thinking about cones, and I focus on touch quality. Every touch has a purpose, either to move the ball away from pressure or to invite pressure in. I train slow, painfully slow. I dribble in small spaces, forcing myself to keep the ball within one step of my body at all times. Inside of the foot, outside of the foot, sole control. No rush, no speed. Because speed without control is useless. Once the ball feels glued to me at walking pace, sprinting becomes easy. That's when defenders start feeling helpless.
Why simple dribbles destroy defenders. Most players want highlights, but defenders don't fear tricks. They fear simplicity. The most effective dribbles in football are the body feint, the change of direction, the stop and go. That's it. No rainbow flicks, no unnecessary spins. A simple body feint works because defenders react to hips and shoulders, not feet. So when I dribble, my eyes, shoulders, and hips lie. My feet just follow the story. I exaggerate my movement one way, then take the ball the other way with a single touch. One movement, one decision. That's why it feels like cheating. The timing secret nobody teaches. Here's what separates good dribblers from unstoppable ones. Timing. I don't try to beat defenders when they're balanced. I wait until they're stepping forward, or shifting their weight, or slightly overcommitting. That half second is everything. When a defender is moving, they can't change direction instantly. That's when I attack. So instead of rushing moves, I slow down the moment. I almost walk at defenders. That calmness forces them to act, and the second they do, I'm gone. This is why elite dribblers look relaxed. They're not faster, they're patient. Dribbling in games versus training. A lot of players can dribble in training, but games feel different. More pressure, less time, more fear of losing the ball. So I train the way I want to play. I limit my touches. I force myself to beat imaginary defenders in 1 or 2 movements. I practice dribbling immediately after receiving the ball, because most dribbles in real matches happen right after the first touch. If my first touch is clean, the defender is already in trouble. That's why first touch and dribbling are inseparable. Confidence, the hidden weapon. Let me be honest, dribbling is mental. 2 players can have the same skill level, but the confident one looks 10 times better. Confidence doesn't come from motivation speeches. It comes from repetition and permission. I give myself permission to fail in training. I lose the ball on purpose. I experiment. I try uncomfortable movements. So when match day comes, nothing feels scary because I've already failed 1,000 times. That's when dribbling becomes instinct. Positioning yourself to dribble more. Here's something most players never think about. Where you stand determines how often you can dribble. I position my body side on whenever possible. That way, I can see the defender and the space at the same time. I also receive the ball on the back foot, not the front foot. That gives me momentum, and momentum is deadly. A defender facing a stationary player feels confident. A defender facing a player already moving? That's panic.
Why dribbling isn't about beating everyone. Here's a mindset shift that changes everything. I don't dribble to beat players. I dribble to create advantage. Sometimes that means beating a defender. Sometimes it means forcing him to step out of position. Sometimes it means drawing two players and passing. Great dribblers don't force success. They manipulate space. That's why they always look one step ahead.
How to train alone and still dominate games. If you train alone, this part is for you. You don't need fancy drills. You need a ball, a small space, and intention. I visualize defenders. I imagine pressure. I move the ball with purpose. I focus on clean first touches, directional touches, explosive exits. 10 focused minutes like this beats an hour of mindless drills. Consistency beats intensity. Every time. When dribbling finally clicks. One day, something changes. You stop forcing moves. You stop overthinking. You start trusting your body. Defenders feel slower. The game feels quieter. Time feels stretched. That's when you know. Dribbling doesn't feel impressive anymore. It feels normal. And that's when other players start saying things like, "He makes it look easy. It's like he's cheating." But you'll know the truth. It's not cheating. It's understanding the game deeper than most. Final message. If you want to become elite at dribbling, don't chase tricks. Chase control, timing, simplicity, confidence. Train slower than everyone else so you can play faster than everyone else. If you found this video helpful, keep training with intention, because once dribbling clicks, football becomes a completely different game, and it never goes back.